Shalom, shalom, peace be unto you, or peace, love, light, and healing, as some of the herbalist brothers like to say. Uh, these are brothers from the Hopeful Elect, man, coming at you with another Wisdom Wednesday. We want to first and foremost give all praises, glory, and honor be to the Most High God of our fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, right? We do so in the name of his only begotten son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? Again, Wisdom Wednesday, just titled this, let's talk about it, because we're just going to be talking about a few things that's trending in the world right now, some things that have taken place, transpired over the course of the last, years, couple months, couple weeks, right? Some hot topics, but without further ado, man, we're going to get right into it. So right now, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on, so I got to share my screen. Wait, I don't know why this is doing this. Okay, so because this thing be tripping. But I'm finna share my screen, and I'm gonna share this tab real quick. But with this tab, man, it's a Facebook tab. So this is just showing visual, I guess, of young Dolph's murder trial, right? Showing audio and a little visual about his murder trial. So if anybody doesn't know or isn't familiar with Young Dolph, he was a rapper, right? That was killed, I think, on November 17th, 2021. In the world, definitely was one of my top two rappers, you know what I'm saying, in my rotation. But he was somebody that was, I guess you could say, impactful to his community, because he was from Memphis, man. And, he ended up getting killed because he had beef with other rappers from Memphis, or not necessarily rappers, but he had a beef with other groups from Memphis. So they ended up killing him when he came back home. He was at a cookie shop, in one of his favorite cookie shops. But that happened, right? And we know all the precepts to point out to, when you live a certain life, this type of stuff happens. We got that. We're not going to get into that, right? We're going to get into what is being said on the audio when these dudes are giving the confession, the dudes that killed him. So, little backstory, we already went over, he got killed in Memphis, right? And it was because of beef. But the truth is, somebody put in a 100K hit on anybody who was from his label's head. So his label was Paper Route Empire, PRE. And the dudes that they was beefing with, somebody, Yo Gotti's brother, I think they said Yo Gotti's big brother, who I think got killed last year too, but they said he put a 100K bounty on anybody from PRE's head. And the dudes that are giving their confession that killed Dolph, they're saying that, pretty much they wasn't even looking to kill Young Dolph. They was just looking to kill anybody from PRE. And they just so happened to see his car, right, when he was at a light driving to the cookie shop. So they followed his car. And then when he went inside the little cookie shop, then they ran up on him and, ambushed him. So that's kind of how that transpired. And you'll hear a little bit about that in the audio clip. So I'm going to just play the clip, right? And
play the clip
to explain it. But what I wanted this to go into, I'll read some precepts. Right? But we'll say that. Let me. Can y'all hear audio?
All right, let me proceed.
So y'all can hear the audio? Oh, okay. I didn't know y'all was giving thumbs up. I couldn't see. Because he had money, right? So let's start this over. Matter of fact, let me make this full screen, and then let's start this over. It's only a 2-minute audio clip, so let's listen.
Handgun. Who's that?
It's just.
All right, let me proceed. All right, you can stop right here. It's Dolph's brother, Marcus. Did you know that he shot back at y'all?
I ain't noticed until we pulled up. And there was a bullet hole in my side window. And I told Jesse, I'm like, man, I'm hit. He was like, I'm hit too. So I see I'm hit right here on my leg, and I see a bullet hole in my sweater. I said, damn. So we driving out. He was saying he was hit. I'm talking to him, making sure we on wreck, making sure he's straight. I'm like, you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm straight. But the bullet head went in my arm. It was a bullet in my back.
I'm going to back up. You and Justin here are running to the white Mercedes. Is that right?
Right.
You get in what side of the car?
I get on the passenger side.
And Justin gets back in the driver's side?
Yeah, he get back on the driver's side.
Y'all get in the car. You can watch the rest of the video here. Did y'all see Marcus getting a second gun from his car?
Nah, but when we pulled out and I knew it was shots back, I was finna shoot back, but there were too many cars coming and I didn't just want to hit them anyway, so I ain't shoot back.
Because Marcus was shooting at y'all as y'all were leaving from down here. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you would be in the car at this point?
Yeah, we was in the car.
Looking backwards?
Yeah, I was looking back, but we had, like, how we were driving, like how he was driving, he was all the way on the other side, but, so I ain't want to just shoot back.
So the shots, all the shots that you fired were the ones we saw right here with Dolph, is that right?
Yeah.
And Justin too?
Yeah.
All right, so y'all didn't shoot back at Marcus as y'all were driving.
Shoot back at him.
Now, when you go into the reason why, they're snitching, right? Because we think that, or we know that, sometimes they say the streets got a code, snitches get stitches, right? A no snitch policy. But the reason why they snitching is because they were promised $100K to kill anybody from PRE. And what ended up happening is they didn't even receive the full payment that they got. I think Buddy said they only received like $800 and some food stamps, you know what I'm saying, for killing this man, right? But it's unfortunate because, again, our people hate each other so much nowadays. We've been taught to hate each other and have hatred in our heart for one another, whether it be because of money, whether it be because of fame, whether it be because the girl you got on your arm. People are willing to kill you for the simplest reasons and for $100,000, you know what I'm saying, which doesn't make sense. Willing to kill another so-called black man just for potentially $100,000. That's not even really life-changing money in today's time. It wasn't even really life-changing money back then. You know what I'm saying? But again, there's precepts to go with this. So we're going to start with this. Let's read into the book. Wow. Let's read into the, hold on. Dang, I got to share my screen, but this thing trim. Oh, come on. Here we go. Come on, let's read this. This is the book, if one of y'all brothers can read it. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22 and verse 12. In the GNT.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 22 and verse 12. Some of your people murder for pay.
Right. Some of our people are murdering for pay, right? We getting paid to do hits, and we getting paid to hit famous men, And it's unfortunate because, again, at the end of the day, we still the same people, right? We still the same people, whether we like it or not, regardless of what neighborhood, district, set, group, organization you follow after, right? We're still the same people, and it's unfortunate because, again, this is one of the times where of course, we always got to start judging Israel first. Israel has to be judged first because that's how it's going to go in that day. Right, Israel is going to be the first one to receive judgment for our actions, But the problem is that our oppressor has oppressed us to the point where they pay for us to kind of live this lifestyle in a sense, right? And I'm not saying that the government literally pays you to go kill somebody else. What I'm saying is that you could live a life that you're a murderer of your own kind, of your own people, right? And you could walk scot-free, and your label will still fund your music. You will still be able to release music. You will still be able to sign deals. You will still be able to get endorsements, because a lot of the times what end up happening is long as we're making them money, they don't care. about what we do in our own communities or in our own neighborhoods. Which, like I said last week on our Day of Atonement, it's a problem. That is a problem because you may know the truth and not tell it. So that's why other nations have to be held accountable for their hand in the children of Israel's demise as well. Right? But can you finish that out?
Some of your people murder for pay. Some charge interest on the loans they make. So, like, some charge interest on the loans they make to other Israelites and get rich by taking advantage of them.
Some of us are taking advantage of each other, right? We're lending upon usury, which is against the law of God, for another Israelite to lend to another Israelite upon usury. We can lend upon usury to the other nations, but not to each other, right? And that's a problem with us too. We're such a greedy people, right? Let me go to another precept real quick. I know we're in Ezekiel, right? Let me jump to one real quick. We're going to go back and finish that in Ezekiel, but I want to read this as well, just because it's fitting, right? First, dang, I can't type today. 1 Timothy 6. And let's go down to verse. First of all, like I said, I can't type today because I didn't put 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy 6. Let me share this tab instead real quick. And let me go down to verse. Let's read verse number 10, right? And let's read also verse number 11. So let's read verse number 10, and let's read verse number 11 as well.
Verse number 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
For the what of money?
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Right. So this is why we have our people committing such heinous crimes against one another, because we love money so much, because money is a defense, right? Money is what is able to help us achieve a certain status in this land of our captivity, right? If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? If we ain't talking about the money, we can't talk at all. All these great quotables that people that have money in this world have made causes us to do exactly what Ezekiel 22 and 12 says. If you can read this again from the top, Brother Azrael Babakashah.
Ezekiel 22 and 12. Some of your people murder for pay. Some charge interest on the loans they make to other Israelites and get rich by taking advantage of them. They have forgotten me. The sovereign Lord has spoken.
So, because we love money so much, and there's so many quotables, and money low-key kind of rules our world nowadays, this is why we have people murdering for pay, right? Which, again, the law tells us thou shalt not murder, right? And then also the law also tells us that we should not lend upon usury to our fellow Israelite brothers and sisters. But because we love money so much and we desire to have it so much, now we're charging interest on loans that we give. Oh, I can give you this, but I got to give you this, and you got to give me something back in return, right? And that's a problem in today's society. That's why, again, can we go back to First Timothy 6 real quick? Con, if you can read this.
1 Timothy 6, chapter 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Hey, you will err from the faith coveting money, right? Because the law also says thou shalt not covet, right? So you will err from the faith desiring the things that, again, you should not be setting your you should not be building your foundation on, right? The desire to have money. It's a terrible foundation to live your life based on, because money does not bring happiness. Money does not bring true peace of mind, and money does not deliver you from your sins. It will not acquit you in the eyes of the Father to have $100 million, right? The only thing that's ever going to deliver you in life is to keep the commandments of the Lord, right? And I know we say that often, and it becomes cliche, and it almost becomes a quotable, and you can expect every Israelite everywhere to always refer back to keeping the commandments. But it is the only thing that has been proven to withstand the test of time, right? People change. Laws in America or laws in every land that's established right now change. Money, the value of money changes over time. What never changed or what never has changed and never will change is the law of God, right? Because his word endureth forever. And we need to remember and understand that, because our people have to shift our mindsets to understanding that nothing in this life is worth committing a murder over, to be honest, unless you're defending yourself or your family. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, even when it comes to defending our possessions, I still would rather let a man, take my car than take his life over taking my car, because if I have insurance, 9 times out of 10, I can get that car back, And I know we understand that insurance sometimes is fugazi, but I'm just giving an example, right? Unless I'm defending myself or defending my children and my wife, or my brothers on the screen, it would be hard for me to truly want to take another man's life. No amount of money could make me do that, right? And the problem is we haven't been taught these commandments. We haven't been taught precepts like Ezekiel 22:12. We haven't been taught to read 1 Timothy 6:10, right? So we have brothers that grow up and they see 100K and they don't go for it. They'll do whatever for it because they love money, because 9 times out of 10, somebody like that who's willing to kill for $100,000 has never had $100,000 in their life, nor could they envision themselves having that much money.
And they're gonna lose it just that fast, because what they're probably gonna go buy an expensive car, and then they're gonna buy a few chains, and it's all gonna be gone.
Right. And the problem is not only did they not get the money that they were promised to receive, they got food stamps in return. So they basically killed this brother, right, on a broken promise and for maybe a month's worth of food in this economy, right? And this economy is the same economy that it was in 2021 when Young Dolph was murdered, right? It's no different. Inflation was still on the rise back then. I know because I was staying in Atlanta at the time with my wife, and man, prices is still going up, But either way it go, you can just see how certain things that control us shouldn't be able to control us like they do, right? And money is one of those things that we have to eventually take back power on. And I'm going to tell you how powerful money is, right? Let me go to an off-topic subject, right? Let me pull up some sports. I know some brothers may feel indifferently about, saying Greek sports, but I just want to pull this up because it's relevant to the topic, right? So let me share my screen. Let me share this tab, right? This is CBS Sports. Thought I was sharing this tab. Okay, here we go. This is CBS Sports, and it says UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka to enter transfer portal. Rebel signal caller says move tied to unfulfilled commitments. So what happened was their starting quarterback. Now, for instance, I'm gonna just bring y'all up to speed about college football right now for those who don't watch it at all. So right now UNLV is 3-0, right? The quarterback Matthew Sluka transferred from Holy Cross, right, and has these dudes UNLV as a playoff hopeful, right? They're in playoff conversations now after a hot 3-0 start because they beat a few good teams that nobody expected UNLV to beat. So what happened is an assistant coach promised the quarterback, Matthew Sluka, $100K if he transferred from Holy Cross to UNLV. Matthew got there and he led them to a 3-0 start. Now he's saying he's going to use his red shirt because he only played 3 games. He's going to use his red shirt and he's going to transfer because UNLV has not fulfilled their promise of giving him his money, right? And every time he acquires or his family acquires about the money that he was promised, it's always the runaround. And that's what they're saying right here. So again, money, right? Money. When you get to understanding the power that money has, right? People will do anything. It'll even cause your star quarterback, your starting quarterback, to enter the transfer portal in the middle of the season because he wasn't paid exactly what he was promised to receive, right? I think he said he only received about $3,000 for relocation assistance, but haven't received anything yet. It's 2 sides to every story. I'm not exactly sure how the situation played out, but that's what his foundation is built upon, an unfulfilled promise, right? But it's dealing with money. So he transferred in the world of streets, right? According to the first video we watched, these brothers didn't receive their 100K. So what are they doing? They snitching. They letting this ride and sing like a canary. Because in this day and age, again, money rules the world, and money will cause people to do anything. And it's not something new. It's not like this day and age, people are killed for money. People was killing for money a long time ago, right? Judas traded Christ for money. You know what I'm saying? Essentially. So at the end of the day, we have to understand that, again, there are certain reasons why things happen, right? We get that. When you live a certain life, you got to pay the consequences thereof, right? And when you rap a certain life, eventually you're going to be faced with the words thereof, right? Matter of fact, let's read that. Let me go to that precept real quick. Proverbs 18:21, right? And I'm reading, I want this being read because it's important. It's the truth. So let me share my screen real quick. Let me share screen. Right here, Proverbs. Yep. Con. If a brother could read this for me real quick, please.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 18, and verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
Man, the words that you speak, the things that you do will eventually come back upon you, right? The things that you say, they'll come back upon you. And when it's time to pay the piper, you got to pay. Even if it's with your life. Because again, we live in a society where we just feel like, it's okay to say whatever and not have to face the consequences thereof, right? And that's one thing that vexes me about the younger generation is that, they kind of have a lack of accountability when it comes to owning up to certain things. One thing I hate the most, a pet peeve of mine, is when somebody commits a serious crime and you have friends of this person saying, free him, free them, free that person, right? And it bothers me because I'm just like, man, I look at it from my standpoint. If somebody would have robbed my mama or killed my brother and I seen somebody saying free me, I'm finna go to war with them folks that's saying free him or free that person that did this crime. Because I got to put myself in the victim's shoes sometimes, right? Which is why I wouldn't ever want to offend my brothers to the point of it going anything past maybe, an intense conversation, right? I wouldn't think about killing my brother for 100K, 100K. Would I like to have 100K right now? For sure. For sure. Would I kill another man for it? Nah. But we've been trained in this society to, again, believe that those who look like us are our enemies, right? And that's not true. They want us to vote in their elections. They want us to partake in their politics. They want us to partake in everything American, right? But the only thing they don't want us to partake in is finding out who we are as a people and getting on one accord as a people. Our people hate to see our people on one accord. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, we the only nation that got crash outs, that only crash out on our own people. Every other nation, man, they got crash outs that's willing to stand up for their race or do something crazy on the news for their race, right? But our people, man, the only things that we do bad is to each other, man. The only things that we do scary is to each other. We don't, we don't scare nobody else. We don't frighten nobody else. We don't attack nobody else. We just focus on ourselves, man. And that's the reason why we're so destroyed, is because if somebody were to offer 100,000 for those same boys to kill another man of another nation, they would have got scared. They wouldn't have done it. If somebody would have offered them boys $1,000 to go to a cotton field, because we still got cotton fields down here in Georgia, go to a cotton field and set it on fire in the middle of the night, they would have got scared. They wouldn't have done it. But let somebody pay you some food stamps, you're gonna run up in somebody's house and you gonna unalive somebody. And so my thing is, man, we have a literally spiritual blindness on us that is causing us to stay at the bottom of society. There's nothing that we could do about it until the Most High God reveals it or uncovers the veil that's on our eyes.
Con. And that's important to know, to emphasize too, right? We're big on sliding on each other, but not sliding on the real enemy, man. We don't want to change the truth about ourselves as a people. We're a lost people. We don't really want to deal with that, right? We don't want to listen to the guys that stand on the street corners and wear fringes. We don't want to stand out there with them either, because just not my type of thing. It looks corny, right? We don't want to cause offense. We don't want to confront the truth, right? It's so many things that we making excuses for, which causes us to, again, have hate in our heart towards one another. But when it comes to the so-called other nations, now all of a sudden we just got to turn the blind eye. Now all of a sudden it's, oh, that's racist, right? Well, it's racist to want to oppress people of your own race. So how is it not racist to go do something just, or bring down a just judgment upon another nation for what they did to you or your people, right? How is that racist? But it's not racist for you to sit up here and oppress your own people on the same wise that the other nations have oppressed your own people before. The other nations have killed us and slayed us out of envy for our women, for our possessions, for our heritage, because of who we are, right? They've done that to us. But the minute you bring that up, people are, all y'all want to do is talk about the victim mentality. Y'all play the victim so well and so much. How can we not? It's true. The other nations have spoiled us in ways that are unimaginable, but it's not racist for us to do it to each other. I guess that's the way you would ask that question. I would beg to differ. I think it's racist for us to oppress one of another, right? It's racist for us to kill each other for senseless reasons. That's a form of oppression, murdering. That's putting people in fear. That's causing people to change who they are about themselves because they have to adapt to the environment they live in. That's why we have so many young brothers who are referred to nowadays as YNs, or quote unquote crash outs, because they had to adapt to the society that they grew up in. And the society or neighborhood or environment that they grew up in peer pressured them to kind of arm themselves and take a more ignorant approach to dealing with one another, because that's all they seen. And to prevent them from being somebody who gets lit up, shot up, whatever, they had to kind of turn to ignorance too, so that way they could fit in and play the part and not be singled out like everybody else, right? We've called evil good and we've called good evil. We refer to demons as a good thing now. And that's the problem, right? People have no fear of righteousness anymore. We don't even know what righteousness is, because the ox knoweth his owner and the ass his master's crib, but Israel does not know, my people does not consider, right? Let's read these couple of precepts right here. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. If we can read this.
Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
Man, the heathen helped forward the affliction, right? The heathen did more than what the Lord intended for it to be done to us, right? They're ravishing our women, they're taking our children, right? I mean, that was all prophesied, correct? But again, that's they took it and ran with it. Oh shoot, this the chosen people? Bet we finna have a good time with these folk. And that's why, again, like we just said this past weekend on live, right? This past Sabbath day, which was our DOA, Day of Atonement, right? We was talking about how the heathen has to pay because they know who we are, but they refuse to want to tell the truth about it. They'll acknowledge it to us long as nobody else hears them, right? They'll agree with you, but they'll just kind of be like, like, hey, we can't be caught saying this out loud because, we'll mess up our money. We got liquor stores in y'all neighborhood. We got to make sure y'all want to buy liquor. Y'all live the life of drunkards. We know y'all the real Israelites. You know what I'm saying? But we just gotta make our bread.
Hey man, when I read this, sometimes when I read about how they furthered the affliction of us, a lot of times, man, my mind doesn't even go to physical affliction, man, like the rape, robbery, and murder that we know, but it goes to more so like the affliction that they cause on us mentally in the state that we are mentally now, to the point where, we're just so far gone where the Most High is looking like, man, they did more than just physically beat my people. They confused them. You know what I'm saying? And we actually walking around here confused. And, just to the brother Azrael's point, we got people out here that are crash outs or YNs that are, that are willing to go to prison for life and be up there, I'll go to prison for life, you know what I'm saying? And be proud of it. But brother, if you that worried about, if you that not bothered about prison, why don't you go do something for your people to get in there, man? Why don't you go start a race war or something? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you go and find once you get locked up, why don't you go find George Zimmerman and take him out from the inside, right? Why don't you do something like that? Instead, we go for your local rappers. You know what I'm saying? Man, you just wasted a whole conviction on nothing. On more black on black crime. If you're gonna get convicted of something like that, if you're gonna get convicted of murder, make it count, at least for your people. You know what I'm saying? But that's that further in affliction, man, that we're so afraid that the black man, the black woman can't even fathom doing anything to somebody of another nation, right? The closest thing we got to it was what? The incident at the harbor, right? And I was shocked when I was seeing that. I was shocked. I was like, what's going on? Because usually black people, I didn't, I was looking for one black peacekeeper to be like, hey, don't hurt that white woman. But you know what I'm saying? People let it fly. I was shocked because I was like, dang, this is a turn for something different, bro. Because it's not like us.
Brother swam across the Jordan River, man. That helped that brother out.
For his people, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if he knew the brother or not. But that caught me off guard. I ain't gonna lie, man. I wasn't expecting that. We was acting out of our character.
Right. And that's why, again, it's just so frustrating sometimes, knowing what you know. Because that's why it reads in Ecclesiastes, it says, man, he that increaseth in wisdom increaseth much sorrow, right? Because, man, this stuff kind of drives you insane. It makes you mad, right? Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, man. It makes you upset to hear and see some of the things that you see on a daily basis when it comes to our people, right? Because nobody wants to change for real, right? Nobody wants to change at all. And that's one of the things that, you know what I'm saying, is just gonna it just bothers you a lot, right? But the brother Donald says something, and I want to show this video too, because I wasn't going to show this one, but I want to show this video too. Now look what the title says. Look what the caption on the video says, right? It says, when you her first and only BD. Now this may not bother people, but this bothers me because I say the same thing about women when they say BM. We're so proud about only limiting ourselves to being nothing more than baby fathers and baby mothers. We're not even seeking marriage first no more. We're seeking kids and then marriage. I had a friend that I used to go to church with. She's a girl, and she posted on social media one day. She said, "Man, I don't want a man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have kids, and I want to have my kids to themselves. I really don't want that man around." And it really bothered me. Like, it bothered me to the point I had to text her and talk to her about it, because I'm like, bruh, do you not realize that the kids are not for you? The man is not for you. They're there for the children. If you have, and that's not me saying I support BDs and BMs. That's just me saying, if you're not in a relationship with a person that you had children with in today's time, a lot of times women, it's more common in women, they're particularly going to be selfish with their children because they're no longer with their child's father, right? And they'll be like, I never needed a man to help me raise a kid. But it's not about you. It's about the child. It's about balance, right? And we are so content with just being only baby daddies and baby mamas. We're not even trying to be husbands and wives no more. Kings and priests, right? You call a brother king, they gonna laugh at you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say it's corny, right? But that's who we are. That's who we descend from. And look at the video. If I can play it. I don't think it was. The video, he was dancing. Well, it was a video. The brother was dancing, but nonetheless, you get the point, right? The title, the header on the video, the caption on the video says it all, right? When you're her first and only BD, and that's a problem. Again, we, like the brother said, you know, they mentally tricked us into being confused. They furthered our affliction by getting inside of our heads and making us believe a lie. That's something that we read on this past weekend, Revelation 22 and 15. They that love it and make it the lie, right? If you love lies, you're going to be somebody who partakes in the lake of fire, right? Oh, to love a lie is to believe that nothing is wrong with abortion, homosexuality is okay, right? And I can, you know what I'm saying, be a hoe, or I can be a whoremonger, and it's perfectly normal because Future is, because Drake is. It's okay to just sleep with a bunch of women or a bunch of men, right? It's okay to kill my brother for money. It's $100K. So we have been confused, right? And I wanted to read this one last precept, right? Since the brothers brought out that word, confused. Darn, I cannot type. Corinthians. Lord have mercy. Let me see. Lord have mercy. This ain't it. 1 Corinthians, I think it's 40. No, 14:30. Yeah, God, this is it right here. One verse ahead. But this is 1 Corinthians 14:33, right? It says, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints, right? The Most High is not the author of confusion. You know, this is exactly why we say that, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments are the simplest thing that you can follow to change society. People think it's about giving money. People think it's about teaching financial literacy. People think it's about, you know what I'm saying, clothing people, feeding people. All of those are part of building the kingdom, teaching our people to be wiser with their spending, teaching our people to learn how to save. All of that is part of it, right? But it's not the main thing. The main thing is the law, statutes, and commandments. How can I tell a lost people to spend their money more wisely? Because our people that are so lost, they're still not going to know what they should truly be spending their money on, right? We're still going to buy $100,000 change because I can afford to, not knowing that, hey, maybe take some of that money, take about 50, 60,000, invest in a, you know, an apartment complex. help build up an apartment complex to put some of your homeless brothers and sisters in. You know, nowadays, all we do is limit ourselves to charitable donations. We start a charity, right? I give money to charity, or I start a school. That is perfectly fine and all, but in the school, they're not teaching us the curriculum of the Lord. They're teaching us math, science, reading, writing, and arithmetic, according to the world. They're not teaching us the commandments of the Lord. And to a lot of people on the outside, they're gonna feel like I'm hating, but the only thing I'm doing is saying that our priorities are in the wrong place. That's a part of the reason why young Dolph got killed, because people are prioritizing $100,000, man. Brothers don't even know you could have went to trade school, got you a trade, and could have made that money legally without having to face getting shot a few times. Like the brother was saying, they run to the car and they like, I'm hit. And he was like, I'm hit too. You wouldn't have to go to jail. You wouldn't have to worry about nobody retaliating. You wouldn't have to live with the guilt of killing a man and not being paid your promise, right? Because you would have took the route of going to find a trade and going to make 100K like that. But that's the problem. Again, teaching people the commandments of the Lord is the most important thing that we can ever do. I don't care who says what about people who teach the Bible. People will see us on the street corner and say, well, that's all y'all do is teach the word. Do y'all give clothes to homeless? Do y'all do that? Do y'all do any type of work like that? The work that we're doing is the main thing that we should be doing, teaching our people to turn to their heritage. It's the main thing. It's the thing that's going to cause the most change. When you look at these commandments and you understand that, okay, I have to do this because the Most High said so. It's not for me to necessarily understand. It's because he said so, and I want to be obedient to him. And that will fix our community faster than me saying, hey, brother, go start you an LLC, right? Then when you get your LLC, go take out business credit in your name, right? And get you about $50,000 loan business credit, buy you a car with that, and then you pay that credit back with the jobs you get. Like, all that advice is cool and all. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give young brothers some money just for the sake of them not going out to kill and steal and rob for it is cool and all. But the commandments of the Lord, teaching them who they are, teaching them how to treat their women, teaching them how to treat one another, all of those things are going to cause the most change and impact us the most ways. It will leave us it won't confuse us at all. It won't confuse us. I'll say that. I was going to say it'll leave us the least amount of confused, but it won't confuse you at all because you're going to be walking in the commandments of the Lord, right? But at the end of the day, man, you know, we can go on and on about this topic, but again, you know, we got to repent, change our actions. You know, that's the most important thing. The Dolph trial, I understand it was only a 2-minute clip. It wasn't too many precepts to bring out to that point, but at the same time, you know, it's good to always remind that, bruh, people out here really don't understand that the Bible is undefeated, man. I never have seen it never have I seen the scriptures not come to pass and be fulfilled, right? Never have I seen another religion's understanding of their biblical source book or whatever they call their book of faith or laws, or never have I seen a book like the Bible, man, come to pass. That's why we understand it's the truth, because it makes the most sense, right? When it comes to understanding who we are as a people. But with that, I'll just go ahead and yield, man, for the night. I know it's kind of late. Brothers got to go to work in the morning, but brothers had anything to add?
Con. Let me share my screen real quick, man. Just to since we talking about it, you know. Let me go ahead and play this real quick. Let me see something. Get all this crap up out of here, man. I'm gonna try to blow it up, but I'm not gonna be able to see y'all if I do that. So let me know if it's looking weird or whatnot.
When Mom Lecca Brown spoke with first responders after her 13-year-old daughter was shot yesterday afternoon, this was what she told them.
Mom is advising that she arrived home like this. She came home, but she was already bleeding and apparently had a gunshot wound to the back of her neck.
And they're advising us her neck by a homeless person.
But prosecutors say the mom was the one who allegedly pulled the trigger and shot her daughter in the neck after an argument. According to court documents, the daughter told investigators she then fell down the stairs and couldn't move. She was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Brown is now charged with first-degree attempted murder. Acting Seat Pleasant Police Chief Cedric Hayward saying in a statement, "It is always tragic when we have acts of violence within our community, but it is heart-wrenching when the perpetrator is supposed to be your protector." Maryland court records show Taleka Brown was accused in a domestic violence case last year, with a judge granting a temporary stay-away order. It's not clear from who or where. Brown was also temporarily ordered to surrender any guns. The records show the final stay-away order was later denied because there was no statutory basis for relief. As for the 13-year-old daughter, police say she's now recovering at the hospital. According to court documents, the teen told investigators her mom allegedly asked her to lie and say she was shot by an intruder.
And Brown is scheduled to appear in Prince George's County Court tomorrow afternoon for a bond review hearing. In Seat Pleasant, Amy Cho, News 4.
Right, man. I just bring that up since we talking about it, man. Not only are we paying each other to kill, our brothers from another, right, out in the street, but you have same household domestic violence going on, where a mom who's supposed to, her natural nature is to be a nurturer, is trying to off her offspring, right? Literally caught the gun back and pulled a trigger at her 13-year-old daughter, right? How much more hate can you have for your for your people than that, right? You don't really hear about these stories like that going rampant in other nations like that, of a mom pulling the trigger on their daughter, right? You might, and if they do kill their kids or something like that, it's not by gunshot. You know what I'm saying? You put a gun in any of our people's hands now, man, they liable to do anything with it, because we operate off of emotion, right? To pull that trigger is so easy. We act like we can get it back, right? But once you pull that trigger, man, anything can happen. And then the worst thing about it is, after her daughter didn't die, she tried to tell her daughter to lie to the police after she just tried to shoot her and kill her, right? So now you try to get your daughter to lie for you, and then of course the daughter snitched on the mom. You know what I'm saying? This is madness, man. It's all over the place. It's confusion, right? You have to be put in the environments by an oppressor to really have your mind gone like that, to want to off your daughter, right? Your 13-year-old daughter. It's not bad enough that we're already aborting them at a high rate. Then are we trying to kill them when they fully grown, right? But man, I just had to bring that out since we was talking about things and sharing news articles and stuff like that, man. We can't let that go slide, because that was something recent. It has to show you something about our people today, right? How lost we are. But
I'll say good lesson. That was a mighty precept that you went to first, I believe, because it pretty much quoted it right out. You know what I'm saying? How our people take advantage of one another. And I also want to say too, I think personally, I speak as a man, but I think it just boils down to the music, man. I think it boils down to the music. We glorify certain things so much to where it becomes normal and where it becomes culture. We glorify guns. So now, death is not something that we take serious no more, right? Death just comes with the everyday lifestyle of owning guns, and you can use your gun whenever, right? There's multiple jobs in the hood you can get, and one of them is being a shooter, because every rapper talk about my shooter this, I got somebody that'll gun you down, blah, 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 my hitters, blah, 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 blah. So everybody wants to take that role instead of, actually doing something with their life. And it all comes from glorifying the wrong stuff. So imagine if our people would get on one accord and glorify the things that are in the Bible, how much of a righteous nation we would be, man. But with that, I yield.
Man. Mighty inserts by the brothers. But we gonna sign off this thing 10:43, man. Most High willing, you all were edified for Wisdom Wednesday. Lord willing, We'll be on here tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Friday, if not Friday, on the Sabbath. And if not then, you see us when you see us through the Spirit. But say shalom.
Shalom.